Hi, and welcome to Myallocator with ResNexus. The purpose of this video is going to be to take you through the steps of how to connect your ResNexus account with your existing Myallocator account. So if you're not yet a Myallocator customer, you'll want to see our other video on how to connect ResNexus with Myallocator for new customers. So if you're an existing Myallocator customer, the basic steps we're going to take here are we're going to prepare your Myallocator account for the connection with ResNexus. Then we're going to go into ResNexus and enter your Myallocator credentials to connect ResNexus with Myallocator. And then finally, we're going to come back to Myallocator. We're going to check to see that the connection pushed across your rooms correctly, and we'll move forward from there. So we're going to start off by logging into our test Myallocator account here. When logging in, you should go to your Manage page, which basically shows your statuses of your property, like so. From here, I'm going to go to my Availabilities tab. And from here, we're going to do the first step of preparing your Myallocator account to connect with ResNexus. The first step is going to close your availability to all of your channels to avoid any overbookings during the short period that your rooms are disconnected from your channels. So to do that, we're going to go to the Set Long-Term option. I'm going to select my end date as the last date that I have in inventory. So, as an example, if your last date of inventory that you had sent or that you had placed into Myallocator was June 16th, you would select June 30th of 2016. You would come here to the availability drop-down box and you'll select Close. You'll click the check mark under Closed and click Set. If that successfully happens, you'll see it say Changes Set. It'll pop up really quickly there and you know that it happened. If you have additional rooms, you'll select room and you'll select the next room that you need to do that to, and you'll repeat these steps for each of the rooms that you have. Since I have just one room, I'll do just the one room and then I'll click Close. The other way that I can tell that has taken effect is I'll now see the Close check mark next to the word Close on my Availability tab. The next step is going to be to save that to my channels, so I'll click Save. I'll select Save to Myallocator on all channels, and I'll select Send. From there, it'll save it to Myallocator, and then it'll also send to my channels. And then you'll see I have the message successfully updated. That means that it's been saved to Myallocator, and it's been sent to my channels, so I'm now closed. From there, we're going to go to the next step, which is to disable your rooms. You'll click Manage, and then you'll click Rooms. From there, you'll see the rooms that you have that are currently active listed under active room types, and you may, if you have already disabled some room types, see some under a category that says Disabled Room Types. Ideally, your goal is, once we finish this step, this area under active room types will be empty, and all of the rooms that you have will be under disabled room types to move forward. For me here, I only have one room, so I'm going to click the Honeymoon Suite. I'm going to scroll down and click Disable. Myallocator is going to prompt you and let you know that disabling a room in Myallocator does not notify the channel, nor does it disable the room in the channel. That's the reason why we sent the closed availability before. So since we've already taken the proper steps to not be impacted by overbookings, when we take this step, we're going to click I understand. From there, we'll click Update. And if that update is successful, you'll see a green message come up that says, OK, your changes have been saved. I only had one room to complete. However, many of you will have multiple rooms to complete. So if you have other rooms to complete, you'll simply click Back to Room List. And you'll take those steps over each of your rooms until you have your property looking similar to this, with all of your rooms that you had previously created under disabled room types and no rooms under active room types. The reason for that is once we connect ResNexus, ResNexus is going to send over your rooms from your ResNexus account to Myallocator. When we proceed with connecting those new rooms, if you haven't already disabled your previously existing rooms, you won't be able to tell which rooms are your new rooms and which rooms are the rooms that you previously had created before. Your next step is going to be to come to ResNexus. You'll log into your ResNexus account, and most of you will be on your grid page. Starting from your grid page, you'll scroll down and you'll click Settings. Once you click Settings, you'll scroll down, and under Settings, under Lodging Settings, you have an option that says Myallocator. And from there, you'll be prompted with your Myallocator credentials, your username, password, and property name. Just as a reminder, if you need to know what those options are, you'll have those here in the upper right corner. You'll see that I have my username on the left and my property name on the right. So I'll come here to Myallocator and I'll enter those details. Now that I've entered my Myallocator credentials into ResNexus, I'll click Save. If I've entered this information correctly, you'll see that it populates this page here, and you'll see that it says Myallocator is currently enabled. If you scroll down this page, you have options to set how many months of inventory you want to send to Myallocator, and then also to set your credit card password. You'll want to set your credit card password so that any bookings that come into Myallocator with credit card details will be able to receive those credit card details into ResNexus. Once you've done that, you'll click Save again, and you'll be ready to move to the next step. Your next step is going to be to go back to Myallocator. Once you go back to Myallocator, you'll click Availability. Once you click Availability and the Availability tab loads, you'll see that ResNexus should have sent across all of your rooms that you have in ResNexus. For most of you, you probably already have inventory in ResNexus, and if that's the case, that inventory should also be here too. You'll want to take a quick look to ensure that that inventory that's been sent across and those rates that have been sent across match your correct rates and inventory that are in ResNexus. If that information does not appear as expected, you'll want to stop, and your next step will be to contact your ResNexus Red Carpet professional for more assistance to move forward. If that information is correct and does match your desired rates and inventory from ResNexus, your next step will be to connect your new rooms from ResNexus with your channels. That way you'll be able to reopen your rooms for sale within your channels. If you need more help on how to connect your new rooms from ResNexus with your channels, you can always see our video Connecting Channels, which will walk you through the setup process of how to connect channels within Myallocator.